It's called the Mobius Strip Lab. If you're in class with me, you'll be given a sheet of paper. If you are home, you can do this as well, but you're going to need like a piece of computer paper. Looks like this. Just plain old white computer paper. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut off a section on the top. So you want the wide side. You don't have to measure it. It doesn't even have to be perfectly straight your cut or anything. But you want... there goes that piece of paper. It's going to blow away. You want a piece that looks kind of like this. It's a little shorter than what we're going to use in class, but it's pretty close to the same length, so I think it will work for you. If you happen to have register tape at home, you can use that too, but I suspect you don't have that, but you probably have this. Okay, so you're going to use a piece of paper like this. So the first thing that it says to do, and I'm only going to run you through part of these instructions because I don't want to give away too much. I want you to think about what you think is going to happen and work your way through it on your own. First thing you're going to do is give a definition of observation and a definition of prediction. So if by now you're not sure of those definitions, you can always look them up. There's beautifuldictionary.com that will give you, you want the more science-y definition of those two words, but we've kind of talked about them over the last week or so. So even if you want to write your own idea of how you would define those two words, then you can do that as well. Materials you'll need: strip of paper, scissors, and tape. You'll also need that. Hopefully you looked at my new supply store section of the agenda if you're an all virtual learner and you were able to know ahead of time that you needed scissors, you needed tape, and you need that piece of computer paper. So we'll try to let you know. So the first thing you're going to do is take the sheet of paper, which I tucked under my computer so it doesn't blow away, and you're going to label it A, B, C, D. Okay? Just like this diagram shows you. Give your labeled piece of paper a half twist, and then you're going to work to tape them together. What you need to do is you need to tape them together so that the A and the D are matched up and the B and the C are matched up. Okay? So the A has to match up with the D and the B has to match up with the C. That's where that twist comes in, when you're twisting and then you tape them together. Okay? Tape the ends of your paper together. So then it asks you a question. If you draw a continuous line down the center of your strip of paper, kind of like in this diagram up here, there's that line down the center of your strip of paper. Will it be on both sides of the paper or just one side of the paper? Write your prediction in the space provided. So you're going to write down a prediction there. Then you're going to do it. Then you're going to say, did your prediction match your observation? So were you correct or not? If you cut the strip along that center line, so now you've drawn the line around along the center line. If you cut it, take your scissors and cut it along that center line, what do you think it will look like? Okay, you're going to make your prediction here, then you're going to do it. And you're going to say, did your prediction match your observation? So now you're going to have a smaller piece of paper because you've cut it, but if you draw another continuous line down the center of that strip of paper, will it be on one side or both sides of the paper? Again, same question as before. Write your prediction. And then draw that continuous line on the paper and see what happens. Did your prediction match your observation? If you cut the strip along that center line, now again, you've already drawn a second line, now you're cutting a second line. If you cut that strip along the center line, what do you think the strip will look like? Okay, cut it along the center line, and then did your prediction match your observations? You're going to notice some interesting things, I think, as we go through. We're going to do it in class. If you're home, hopefully you're going to notice a couple of things as well. We're going to try to do it live together. And then the very last one says, can you think of a practical use for a Mobius strip? And then I will show you a little video that you might be familiar with of a little bit of a practical use of the Mobius strip. So if you end up having to do this at home without much help, just make sure you're reading the directions carefully. The directions are pretty clear. If you're doing it at home but you're with us, we're going to walk through it together. But the directions are pretty clear, but you have to read them carefully. If you have any questions, just let me know, of course. I will see you all soon.